how
Yeah.
much are rentals going for in Phnom Penh? How do you find them?
How do you find them? The easiest way is Facebook. It's interestingly enough, a lot happens on Facebook in Cambodia. So we've been looking at properties ranging anything from about $180. I suppose you can go cheaper, but gosh,
Yeah.
you know, you want an aircon at least. If you got anything less than $180, you probably won't have an aircon. If you would like a gym and a pool, for example, then it starts getting a little bit higher, up to, from 350 up to about $400 range. But then
Okay.
normally you've got cleaning services included.
These apartments for 350 or 400 a month, you're saying they have a
Mhm.
gyms and pools attached and cleaning people that'll come
Yes,
in and clean.
correct.
That's a deal. I mean, that's a
That's a
deal.
deal. It
Wow.
really is a deal.
Today we're heading over to the beautiful country of Cambodia, to the incredible city of Phnom Penh, which is the capital of Cambodia, with my friend Celestte Nel, where she lives. Celeste, thanks for doing the podcast.
Absolutely, Ray. Nice to chat to you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So, Celeste, let's start out. I've been a big fan of Cambodia for many, many reasons. It's a beautiful country. It's got great food. It's got great landscape, and it's just incredibly affordable for people that want to live there. And it's got easy visa options. But let's start off with your backstory. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you landed in Cambodia.
Well, I'm from South Africa, as you know, and I came to Cambodia this month about 3 years ago. Um, COVID hit everybody hard, as you know, and I was an entrepreneur back home. Had to close my door on a few businesses, and I've got a history with my family just having a passion and a love for the country. My daughter's been here for almost 10 years. My mom was a teacher here. So when I came over to see my daughter, I sort of stuck. I was supposed to. And initially, it was a case of let me come over for 6 months and see what it's like and see if I enjoy it. But Cambodia just grows on you with such speed and so unexpectedly. It's 3 years later. And,
Wow.
the last 2 or 3 days, my daughter and I have had conversations about, returning back to South Africa. And we go like, wow, things are so different. There's just something different about Cambodia. So it's sticking. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I hear that a lot, I hear that from so many people that just go there and then they're so intrigued and so fascinated and then they end up staying. I mean, what was it? Is there anything that you specifically that stood out for you that was like gone, I can't leave this place because of this and this and this? Is there anything specific that stands out?
For me, many things. And over the last 3 years, I've sort of had time to reflect on it. Coming from the Western world where I was an entrepreneur, I was a single mom raising three children. Um, Life was extremely busy. It was stressful. I was in construction, which was a very hard sort of field for a woman to be. I built houses and things like that. And I had several other businesses. So it was a very high intense sort of lifestyle. It's always problem solving, making a plan, having staff to pay. I had banks to deal with to get payments. So it's this and this and that, and also proving yourself sort of in a man's world. And we get so used to chasing, right? And it's hard work and it's constant. When I came to Cambodia, I was like, it was so weird for me for the first like month. I couldn't understand what was going on. It was like
Hmm.
there was a silence that came over me because the people, it's about the people.
Yeah.
The people are calm. It's a kind people. And it took me a while to understand that there's no negative emotion in Cambodia.
Hmm.
If you come in as a Westerner and you don't leave your ego and your pride at that border check, you're in trouble. If
Hmm.
you come in here and you get upset and you raise your voice, you're going to embarrass yourself. People don't deal with those kind of things well. So in terms of what the biggest difference was for me is just the people, the way they are. They are calm, they are kind, they rest, they work to live. They
Hmm.
don't live to work, right? There's a bit of a colonial lifestyle situation because the kids go to school in the mornings. Most of the children, if they are lucky enough, they go to Khmer school. In the afternoon, they go to English. So there's a time where the kids rest in between. People go home, families get together. It's just from this, just to a pure calmness, where
Hmm.
status and cars and clothes, that things doesn't matter. It's actually
Hmm.
quite a shock. It's
Yeah.
a huge shock in the beginning. But
Yeah.
once the adjustment is there, then you start valuing your peace that you find within Cambodia.
Wow. So, not sure which country is the best fit for your move abroad? The Ideal Destination Finder takes the guesswork out of the process. It's a customized 22-question assessment that reveals your top 3 destinations based on your lifestyle, priorities, and budget. Instead of spending months researching and second guessing, you'll get a clear, personalized shortlist to guide your next step abroad. The Ideal Destination Finder is just $97, and it could save you thousands by avoiding the wrong move. You can get started now at adventurefreaks.com. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder on the left. Just click it and start the assessment. I also put the link in the description, or you can click the QR code above. Now let's get back to the video. So that sounds that's a I love how you describe that because it sounds like you just can breathe in Cambodia, and it's just a little bit more laid back and
You've
relaxed.
got no
Yeah.
idea. If yeah, this would be a totally different interview, not pertaining to what you're doing here, but coming from where I came from South Africa, it was highly strung. You know, when a person is at your worst end,
Yeah.
um, and you just need a break and you need a breathe. This is a really great place to ground yourself. And because there's no judgment, right? In the Western society, we all are chasing the white picket fence and the vehicle and the holidays and the things like that. I can't tell you how many wonderful holidays I've had in the 3 years of living in Cambodia that has cost me next to nothing.
Yeah.
I could not do that back home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no crime here. There's these things that I worried about in South Africa versus what I don't even consider in Cambodia. It's worlds apart. So it's a sort of nervous system adjustment where you're living in the survival mode of
Yeah.
surviving crime, of doing business, of all these things to a society that's just so peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just it's quite mind blowing. Yeah, it's quite a process. It was for me in any case.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, before we dive into to the rents and other things, what is describe what living in Phnom Penh is like? Describe what the city's like for the viewers that are watching. Many people, there you got Siem Reap, you got the coast, you got. We just did a Cambodia podcast on Kampot, which is a really cool area, and Phnom Penh is the biggest city and the capital. Explain what it's like living there.
Phnom Penh is busy, right? It's always a hustle and bustle. What it looks like during the day versus what it looks like at night is completely different. The city switches. Um, you can have breakfast 24 hours. It's easy in terms of everything is very accessible. All right. You have to have a little bit of grit to ride on a motor. I've been riding on my motor since I got here. I like being able to get around on my own. So it can be nerve-wracking at times to be on the road, but you've got so many different things to do from visiting temples. If you enjoy sports, there's so many varieties of sports that you can do. If you're a foodie, oh my gosh, so many different kinds of cuisines. Everything is here that any really other city would have. Is Cambodia a third world country? Yes, but things happen quickly here. For
Mm.
example, I go and get my eyes tested within an hour. Within an hour, you will have your frame, tested lenses, everything ready. 60
Wow.
bucks. That is just an example of how quickly things happen here. Everything
Wow.
gets delivered to you. And the nice thing about living in Phnom Penh, everything is so accessible if you want to travel from Phnom Penh to go to Siem Reap, to go to Kampot, to go to Cape, whichever direction that it is that you want to.
How do you travel to those spots? Do you get in a bus or do you get in on a train?
I haven't used the train as yet. I do believe that it can be quite a fun ride. For me, when I travel long distance, I tend to get a little bit motion sickness. So I choose to go on the night bus if I go to Siem Reap,
Okay.
which is quite nice. You can choose anytime from about 11 p.m. I think until about 2 a.m. in the morning, the buses leave. And the buses are comfortable. You get a blanket, you get a pillow, they give you a bottle of water.
Oh,
It's clean, it is neat. So you can lie down comfortably and you have a sleep by the time you wake up. You at Siem Reap, you go and have breakfast.
yeah.
And check-in times, there's normally a check-in time of around 11 or 2, but they are so accommodating. If you arrive wherever you booked accommodation, you can easily just leave your backpack or whatever it is that you're traveling with, have breakfast there. Oftentimes your room is ready, then they'll let you go in easy. It's not as, set in stone as it would be in other places.
Yeah.
When I travel shorter distances to Cape and Kampot or Sihanoukville, that is about a 3-hour bus drive. Then I'll get in what they call a VIP van, like a Hyundai, the Hyundai buses,
Hmm.
a 21-seater or 22
Yeah.
seater.
Yeah.
And that's quite a nice travel. It's really affordable as well. They do a stop and, you always travel safely with them.
How much do they charge to get out there for a 3-hour drive in one of those little small buses?
If you're going to Siem Reap, it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's about 16 or $18.
Okay.
And then if you're going to Cape and Kampot, the other day I went to Cape, it was about $9.50, $10 around there,
Okay.
depending on what time you travel. So anything, to going to Siem Reap won't cost you more than $20.
Yeah.
On the bus, it's like about 16, 17, like I said. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, so it's really, really affordable. And then accommodation, it's personal choice, right?
Yeah.
I've slept in $5 accommodation in backpackers lodges. I've
Yeah.
slept in $50 a night accommodation. I'm not pushing myself to $100 yet.
Yeah.
You know, I like saving money as well and being entrepreneurial with it. But yeah, it's really affordable to get away. If you get tired of the concrete, I enjoy nature. So for me, I go away at least once a
Hmm. Okay.
month because it's affordable.
Yeah, that's great, great information. What do you do for work? So are you working over there?
I do work. I'm actually teaching at the moment.
You're teaching.
Yeah,
Are you an ESL teacher?
I am indeed an ESL teacher, correct?
Okay, that's fantastic. Are you doing that like part-time or full-time or?
No, full time. I've been at the same school for over 2 years now. So I'm one of the head teachers there, and
Okay.
I teach full time. So I've got students that I teach English, math, science, and art to. I teach them from 8 until 11 o'clock. And then they break or they go home, and then they've got my school in the afternoon, and then they switch over. So I've got an English class in the morning and an English group in the afternoon for 3 hours.
Okay. And
And
does that,
then on the side, I do some private tutoring and
yeah.
things like that whenever it comes up.
Are you licensed to teach or?
I'm not a licensed teacher, but I've got my TEFL certification and things like that. Yes,
So you have the TEFL, the TOEFL.
correct,
Yeah. Okay.
correct.
So did you do that online?
I did. I was
Okay.
able to do it online.
Okay. Yeah,
Most of us, we mostly do it online. That's actually the cheapest option. A lot of people travel here to do it,
yeah.
but that can become very costly. It's really easier just to do it online.
Yeah, and what do they pay for working in some of those schools? What do they pay teachers?
If you're a licensed teacher, obviously the salary is a lot higher, and then you will get or find work at the international American schools or the English schools or the Australian schools. With them, the salaries are from $2,000 upwards. And then in the area where I am, you're looking at salaries in it ranging from about $1,200 to $1,800, depending on experience. $2,000, sorry. depending on experience and things like that.
And that's per month.
Per month,
So
yes.
anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 per month, and you're working full
2,000,
time.
correct. For an unlicensed teacher.
Okay. Wow, that's actually pretty good for Southeast Asia. You know,
It really is.
years
It
ago,
really is.
I taught ESL in South Korea. And the reason I went to South Korea because they paid the most and they gave you an apartment and they gave me they flew me out and back. So I had round
Wow.
trip ticket. It was
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So it
that
was,
didn't happen.
yeah. And
That doesn't happen in
they gave,
Cambodia.
I had a free apartment in a beautiful part of
Oh,
Seoul.
wow.
And it was just it was such an amazing experience. So that's great that you're doing that because, I
It
wanted,
is.
and you're living I wanted to go to Southeast Asia. I never made it down there at the time. And it was like, and I've always said, man, if I could go down there and work, I'd prefer that. But they didn't pay anything back then. It was like
Yeah,
the amount of money that people were making in Southeast Asia teaching ESL was like 800 a month. So it was
yeah,
really, really a low bar back then.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's growing and
So
that's fantastic.
it's it's definitely growing, and the salary that I make, I can live comfortably. Um, we honestly enjoy food, my daughter and I. So we enjoy eating good food, right? I know this
Yeah,
sounds horrible, or it
yeah,
doesn't, but it's as simple as that. We train a lot, we are runners, and we go to the gym. So we need to eat well to take care of our bodies to keep fit.
yeah,
So we eat properly. And even at that, it really doesn't cost us a fortune. For some people, it might be a lot, for others, it isn't. I
yeah,
mean, you can live on a lot less, but we choose because we can to live comfortable, to
yeah,
live comfortably. And
right.
I'm able to save money, or, I'm able to, I've got children that's still back in South Africa. One of my daughters, she's 25, she's there. And my son, he's 19, he's there busy with his finalizing his studies. So mom's like
Yeah,
sending stuff back home and buying gifts for the kids, and my grandson is there. So you are really able to live a comfortable life.
hmm,
The cost of living is low. Um, there's just no crime. There's nothing to stress about. If I ever really have to say that I've got any stress, I'm worried about something, that I'm unhappy, that life is hard, those are things that I had before. I cannot say any of those things here. If life is difficult here, it's because you don't know how to manage yourself or manage money that you earn. It really is the situation
yeah,
because the cost of living is that low. It
right.
really is that low.
That's the beauty of Cambodia. I think it's like what you said. I mean, you can find rentals so cheap in various parts of Cambodia that somebody that even has a salary or a pension of 800 a month, they can make that work in Cambodia, which
Absolutely.
is mind-boggling to so many people that, wow, I only have $800 a month. But you can get a decent apartment for $200 a month and just kind
Definitely.
of carefully budget. You could pretty much eat out all the time too because the food is so cheap.
Absolutely. The food is really cheap. And the nice thing is everybody is so friendly here, right?
Yes.
I've been living in the same apartment with my daughter and myself the last 2 years. The lady downstairs, she's got this little trolley cart. She knows us so well. You get to know the community. And the minute you get involved and you keep eating with them every night and you keep buying your food there, I mean, it really is so affordable. I mean, for $1.50, I can feed myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can feed myself $1. I can feed myself for 52 cents.
Yeah.
Buy a packet of noodles. If it's really, really hard times, if you've got 52 cents, you can buy a packet of noodles and feed yourself.
Yeah. 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 It's really crazy. Well,
Yeah.
Celeste,
A
thanks
bottle
for
of water like this is 20 cents.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. Well,
Yeah.
Celeste, that's great, great info. Let's move on to the visa. So you
All right.
probably have a work visa, but what can you share? A lot of the viewers are retirees looking to find a place to live around the world. I've always said Cambodia is great. But Yeah, what can you share about the visas there?
With regards to the retirement visa, I'm not really all that cleared up. I think you can get a retirement visa from about $55. The gentleman that you interviewed,
Yeah.
or that you posted the interview of in Campot, he had quite a decent explanation with regards to that. So people can always refer back to that interview. I can only speak for my situation as an employed teacher.
Okay.
So if once you, the best way to get things done is always just to get it done the right way, first
Mhm.
of all. All right. Number one, South Africans don't have an embassy, and you don't want to get messy in a country that you're a guest in.
Hmm.
So if you do get employed as a teacher, for example, or any employment in Cambodia, you need an employment letter from your employer, as well as the company's tax certificate or tax patent. They will need a photo of your ID, and then also uh, visa extension forms if you need that. And then also you register on an application called, give me a second, um, FCPS. FCPS. So it's very, very easy. You just scan all your details on that document. They've got all your details. So everything has become electronic, which is quite easy. The cost of a 6 month visa is around about $150 to $175, depending on which visa agent you use. There's a lot of them. If ever you do need referrals for visa agents, I will refer your viewers gladly
Okay.
because we've been working with the same agents for many, many years. A 12-month visa cost is anything from about 360 to 380, depending again on which agent that you use. They also need to make a bit of money.
Okay.
And then a work permit. You can get a work permit if your visa is in order, and you can get a visa if your work permit is in order. The work permit is about $190 a year. That is if you've got no outstanding penalties. If
Okay.
you don't get your work permit on time, these penalties, I think, ranging from about $500. So, yeah, it's best to just get it done. Now, sometimes if you're lucky enough, then the school or the employer will pay for both your visa extension and work permit. Sometimes it's at the school's discretion or employer's discretion, right? For me, I'm lucky enough that my work permit gets taken care of for me.
Mhm.
I choose to do a yearly visa. It's easy, or it's just less worry and less trouble. Then you don't have to worry about it for too long or too much. I've done it once. I did a 3 month visa, and I was like, no. I'm
Yeah.
like continuously checking my visa. When I just got here, you're scared just now go to jail. It's visa
Mhm.
police.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Thanks for that. Let's move on to rentals. So everybody knows they got to find a place to live, they got to find a
Yeah,
place to stay. How
yeah.
much are rentals going for in Phnom Penh? How do you find them?
How do you find them? The easiest way is Facebook. It's interestingly enough, a lot happens on Facebook in Cambodia. Facebook Marketplace, agents advertise everything on Facebook. Communication is very open on Facebook. There's obviously scams that happens too, but do due diligence, right? As you would do in any country, you don't just hand money over to a stranger. So finding an agent, like I say, is pretty easy enough. You could find them on Facebook, and then communication normally goes over to Telegram. I'm busy going through the exercise of looking for property. As I mentioned before, currently my daughter and myself live together, and we are looking to move into our own separate apartments. So we've been looking at properties ranging anything from about $180. I suppose you can go cheaper, but gosh,
Yeah.
you know, you want an aircon at least. If you got anything less than $180, you probably won't have an aircon. And that is really something that you need to have.
Yeah.
And then, up to about 250. If you would like a gym and a pool, for example, then it starts getting a little bit higher, from 350 up to about $400 range. But then
Okay.
normally you've got cleaning services included, where
Okay.
you get, the apartment cleaned once a week. They just sweep and clean, change your bedding.
Yeah.
There's normally Wi-Fi included.
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Okay.
parking for a vehicle or motor if you have, yes, and
Now,
security.
these apartments for 350 or 400 a month, you're saying they have a
Mhm.
gyms and pools attached and cleaning people that'll
Yes,
come in and clean. That's a
correct.
that's a deal. I mean, that's a
That's a
deal.
deal. It
Wow.
really is a deal. I mean, I love just being able to get in the lift, go to the top floor, and the pools are beautiful. If you are
Yeah.
lucky enough to have a pool in your apartment, which most apartments got, the more westernized apartments, they've got pools, so they are your $350, $400 range. You've got a rooftop pool,
Yeah.
and your gym is at a rooftop level. So
Yeah.
while you are doing your exercise, you've got beautiful views. If you're swimming in the pool and you look out, you've got beautiful views,
Yeah.
beautiful sunset.
I've noticed some of those high-rise apartments that they put the pools on the
Exactly.
top floor and it's all
Exactly.
glass, so you got amazing views. And
Yes,
it's unbelievable that you can find stuff like that for 350 bucks in
it
Cambodia.
really is.
It really now my next question is, are these located in central areas where you can walk to places, or would you need some form of transportation to get around?
I can walk everywhere I need to go. From where I am now, if
Okay.
I need to go and get milk quickly, I can walk to the corner shop.
Okay.
I can find milk there. If I need ice and a bottle of water real quick, I just go downstairs. There's a lady with a trolley. I can get that there, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I need a little bit more grocery wise things, I can walk. It's about a kilometer from
Okay.
where I am, but
Yeah.
there's other little shops all the way. Everything is in walking distance,
Okay.
depending on the area. Obviously, within each area, there's so many of everything from
Mhm.
grocery stores to clothing stores to spares, everything. There's just
Mhm.
everything optometrists, doctors, hospitals. And things look a little bit different, right? A hospital here doesn't look like a hospital we know at home.
Right.
It's old buildings or old, apartment blocks that they buy up, renovate, and that becomes schools and hospitals and things like that.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And so you mentioned that in some of these rentals, Wi-Fi is included.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the rentals have got Wi-Fi included.
Okay. Okay. Do you have Wi-Fi included at your place right now?
Yes, we
It
do.
is.
People don't, yeah, normally if there's no Wi-Fi included, people will complain. So they just have it included. I think it's pretty standard most
Standard.
places. Yes.
Do they include utilities as well, or is that separate, like water, electric, gas?
The utilities are separate. Now the gas, I'm not sure. We get a big gas bottle. I don't know how many liters it is, probably like 10 liters. Um, that's about $13 to $16. We change that once every 6 months. So we
Okay.
cook on gas and we cook a lot. We normally do meal prep because it works out easier for us. Because we've got pretty busy lifestyle. So on a Sunday, cooking happens, meal preps happen. My daughter's brilliant at that. And, food is in the fridge and you grab as you go, right? So you can always eat something. So we cook on gas. We've got a small little oven that gets used often. We've got a microwave. So from a utility point of view, we are busy, right? Our monthly water bill for showering, washing, and we shower a lot. You wake up in the morning, you shower. Lunchtime, you shower. You go running, you shower. You go to bed, you shower. You wake up, you shower. So showering happens a lot. So our shower bill, or our water bill is about $3, sometimes $5
A
if we've
month.
got guests a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had family from South Africa that's come over as well and friends. So everybody sort of goes through us, and it's still so affordable with, a lot of people going through the house. Electricity, the government rates are about 25 cents a kilowatt. It can go up to 35 cents a kilowatt, depending on the owner of the property. Sometimes they push it up a little bit. Always
Mhm.
check your electricity meter. You would do that anyway. I mean, that's just a responsible thing to do. So electricity bill can be anything between $50 and $200, depending on how often you use your utilities.
Yeah.
If we are at home and we're on like holiday, there's a public holiday, we're off for a week. Obviously, the aircon runs 24/7, so it can go up to $200.
Gotcha.
which is still affordable. So anything between 500 and 200. When it's the dry season and over December, it's a bit cooler.
Hmm.
Then we don't use the aircon as much. Then a fan sometimes is enough.
Yeah.
We've sort of noticed that if you put the aircon on, you let it run for a little bit, you switch it off, and you have the fan on, during that season, it's pretty nice, and then your electricity bill dips a bit.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty much seasonal.
Okay. What do you think you
Yeah.
pay? What are you paying for electric? It sounds like you guys run
Um,
the air quite a bit. So what do you think you
yeah, my
average?
aircon is on full blast. I will not
Yeah.
lie to you. We are not shy with the aircon. If we're cooking, then like we've got running all four aircons. So
Yeah.
it can go for us 200,
200.
220 sometimes.
Would you say that
I
that's
mean,
an
when we run
average?
it properly.
Would you say that's what
Yeah,
you
that's
average a month, year round?
no, no, not no. It's about 180, 180. Like I say, if it's going full blast, then the worst it's ever been, but it was a test.
Yeah.
Was like 300. I think my daughter said they pushed it through to the one time because there was somebody else living with her before me.
Yeah.
But they went crazy. They literally had it running to see how expensive it would be to get worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But really, for us, if it gets $200, we're like, okay, it's
Okay.
been hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think, and that's everything that we covered there with the, oh, your cell
Mm.
phone. How much do you pay for a cell phone over there?
Cell phone, $6 a week.
Okay.
$6, that's $6 a month. Sorry, you get different options. So it's about $6 a month or $1.50 a week.
Okay.
So it just makes, which is basically the same.
Okay, great. How about groceries? How are groceries expensive in Phnom Penh? And what do you think you budget
Depends
per
on
month?
what you're eating, right? If you're eating imported products, obviously that's going to be more expensive. Um, if you enjoy certain foods, they are more pricey, but food is really affordable. Some meat, steak, obviously, that's a bit more expensive. You don't really find it. It's got to be imported from Australia. So we've got trusted places where we can buy. The supermarkets meats are really, really good. We've got certain brands. We've got Lucky Supermarkets. So there's certain places that we know where we can go. Our food bill works out anything between 150 and $300 a month, depending on
Okay.
how much we eat.
Okay.
But for us, a normal month, for me, I spend $200 a month on my food.
About 200.
That's my food a month, $200. Yeah, it's $200. Um, we put our money together, so we buy $400 worth of groceries for two people. Then let
Okay.
me explain in how much we eat so
Okay.
that people can actually have a perspective. That includes breakfast. And breakfast would be something like a bagel with egg. We eat clean, right? Then there's a snack. Snack is 10 or 11 o'clock. You have an apple and peanut butter. Then it's a cooked lunch, a proper cooked lunch, spaghetti and mince or whatever, rice and chicken. And then a snack in the afternoon. And then we eat a proper cooked meal again at night. And we like cake, so we bake as well. So we really eat, and there's fruit, and we like eating.
Okay.
So for the money that we pay, we can't do the same back home, right?
Yeah.
You
That's so
cannot eat for the money that we eat in Cambodia, in South Africa, for example,
sure.
just due to the cost of living.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you're
It's
so
crazy.
do you go out very often and what can you get a meal for there? And what do you think you
Um,
budget per month?
Street food, you can look at $1 to $3, right? Then your mid-range, $5 to $10.
Okay.
Um, if you go and just have a meal, a quick lunch somewhere, you can get it for cheaper. You can get anything three fifty. If you're buying a $10 meal, you're having a decent meal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then obviously that's your Western meals. If you're looking for a pizza, that's around $10. They can go
Sure.
up to $20 depending what you eat. So the minute you start touching on Western food, you start paying, from about 8, 10, 15, $20 for a
Yeah.
plate of food. And then obviously you've got your fine dining, these beautiful fine dining restaurants, which are more pricier, but still affordable. It's an experience that you can have.
Yeah. So if you go to like a local Cambodian restaurant there in Phnom Penh for a nice
Mm.
meal and a drink, how much would you
Yeah.
pay for something like that?
Oh my gosh, it would be like a dollar, maybe like $3, $2.50, $3.50 for a meal. And you can have a Cambodia beer, which will cost you like a dollar.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've got it on special and happy hour, then it's 75 cents. And
Okay.
then I don't know if you ever had it there by you, but they've got the beer cans that they still pull open, right? You can take the whole tag off. And then if you are lucky in your tag, gives you a discount. You get discount on the next beers that you buy. So
Oh,
people keep all their little beer tags and then they go to the aunties on the corner shops hand in their beer tags. So I've done that exercise. I think it was crazy. Handed in like 12 beer tags and got 9 beers. And I think I had to pay in something like 1,000 real, which is 25 cents. It was laughable. I was in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even drink beer. But to think I got 9 beers for 12 tags and 25 cents.
yeah,
So, yeah, there's a system that works here. So it's really, really affordable to go out for a local Khmer meal.
yeah,
Chinese, interestingly enough, Chinese restaurants and Chinese meals are more expensive because it's more individuals, like one little barbecue stick and things like that. But yes, having going out for dinner is really affordable.
yeah.
You
There's,
could go out every day. You can feed yourself for $5 a night, and then you can have a decent meal. You can have some vegetables, you can have meat, you can have
yeah,
starch, you'll be fine.
and rice and
Absolutely. Rice
yeah,
is a winner. Like the rice is the best
yeah.
in the world. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And well, that's the thing that a lot of people share is that there's this when you do live in Cambodia, there's a level of freedom that you just don't experience in the West because you just can't go out all the time in the West anymore because
You can't.
it's so
You
expensive.
can't.
But
Exactly.
You
If we
can in Cambodia and the food
you
is
can.
really good.
It really is. If we're too lazy to cook or if we're just too tired, then we just order in or we just go out to dinner after running. We love going for Korean barbecue, for example.
Mm,
For a meal, chicken that I barbecue, 400 grams of chicken, and I think 200 portion grams of rice. It's, I think, $4.50. And
yeah.
it's experience to then, barbecue my little pieces of chicken or barbecue, things like that. It really is affordable. I buy every morning.
Yeah.
I buy 2 coffees and um, a
Well,
croissant.
well,
I
you
buy
got to.
myself my
You're a
TA.
teacher.
It
You
cost
got to
me
have
three bucks.
you got to have your coffee. You're a teacher. You got to wake up and get
Exactly. Exactly. So for $3, I get 2 coffees, iced lattes, and a croissant, and I'm
yeah.
fed.
And
So
ESL teachers, you're like you're theater performers. You gotta
no,
be
dear, you've
animated.
got so nice. These kids are, they think I'm nuts. Nuts. I love teaching. You know what? And it's been such a humbling experience. As a child, I used to teach children on my little blackboard in our garage. Like I
Yeah.
used to pretend I was a teacher, as all kids do. I never really thought that my life would take this turn, but it's been such a humbling experience. The children in Asia or in Cambodia are so eager to learn. These
Yes.
kids are bright, right?
Yes. Yes.
God.
It's
They are amazingly clever. They are eager to learn. They love learning. They've just got to want to do good. And it's not a strenuous thing, like oftentimes we see on TV stories about Asian parents that can be so harsh on their kids.
yeah.
Yes, it happens, but there's a natural one for kids to learn and to do well. Everybody's proud of each other, and the kids are just, yeah, they like the adults. Everybody is just so sweet and kind and appreciative, right?
It's very
Um,
true. It's you can't say it any better than that. It's like when I taught in South Korea, I was blown away by just the absolute interest in learning and how just wonderful the students were and how just interested they were in developing, learning. Great students, very, very different because I taught in the US too.
yeah,
And you're met with and I've taught in some pretty challenging schools in New York City, outside of New York City and stuff. And you're dealing with a lot of defiance and you're dealing with a lot of kids that just aren't interested in being there, learning, and
Absolutely.
have issues with authority figures. So then when you experience teaching in Asia, and it's so different. All the kids are respectful.
Yeah.
They look up to the teachers. It's just
Absolutely.
once you learn about teaching abroad, especially in Asia, a lot of people just never go back to the
Especially in
West and teach
Cambodia.
again. They just don't do it because it's so amazing to have that experience working with young people that are respect teachers and are interested in learning. Very different than the West. Um,
Completely. If you give a child here a choice between playing outside and doing math, they choose math. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and happily, right?
yes, yeah,
Happily.
yeah, yeah. It's really
I,
incredible. I'm glad you're having that great experience. I had the same, and it's one of those things I think about all the time, and it's one of the best experiences. And the people that I met and the people that I worked with, the Korean people, was just an amazing experience. One of the best experiences of my life.
no, it absolutely is. It's truly humbling. I could actually use our conversation and interview this evening as an example with my students. When I'm busy teaching them public speaking, I like to build their confidence from a very early age. And I explained to them the importance of preparing,
Yeah,
for anything that you do. And I gave them questions that they had to prepare or to use in order to prepare their public speaking piece. And after I was done explaining, they said to me, "Teacher, what are you talking about?" And I explained to them. The gentleman will be asking me questions about Cambodia, things like that. And the kids and my TA was so grateful. Everybody said to me, "Thank you, teacher. Thank you for speaking about Cambodia, so
yeah,
everybody can know." And it's not a case of like it truly comes from a place of thankfulness, honesty,
yes, yeah,
purity,
yeah,
authenticity. It's not about who are you speaking to? Can we go and watch it? It's not anything like that.
yeah,
It's purely thank you for
yeah,
speaking about us. Thank you for loving this country enough to want to speak about it.
yeah,
That is what blows my mind.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is how power.
That's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
still beautiful.
That's fantastic. All right. Um, well, let's move on to transportation. We touched on that a bit, where you can jump on these smaller buses, head out to Siem Reap. You said I think it costs like $15 to get to Siem
Yes, it's
Reap,
about $15,
and
yeah.
then
To
Kampot.
see review, it's about 16 to
Okay,
19, depending on which kind of services that you use.
okay,
When you go to Cape and Campout, again, also depends on which service provider that you use. They've got special sometimes $9 to $12. Then obviously if you go to the islands, it's a bit more expensive. I think it's 25
okay.
$35 to get to the islands. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've been December. I can't remember.
Yeah. And
Mm.
Celeste, what islands do you recommend? Because some of the islands are as beautiful as some of the beaches and islands in Thailand and
Yeah,
Cambodia.
the islands are gorgeous. Korong, I've been to Korong twice.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Korong Sanluam, I believe, is a little bit more quiet. Korong is more of a party island,
Yeah.
where Korong Sanluam is a bit more quieter. But everything is peaceful, right? It's still small, white beaches, beautiful blue seas. When you look around, it just blows your mind to think that you're in Cambodia.
And the water's
Um,
crystal clear there, right?
Crystal clear. Not so much on the coastline of like Sihanoukville and Cape, but once you move to the islands, it's crystal clear.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you head out there just for a weekend, what can you rent like in a hotel for? Or not a or what can you pay for a hotel for? What can you find them? What are the prices?
Again, it literally depends on your budget. You can find accommodation from as little as $5 a night, up to 120 to $150, depending on what sort of style accommodation you're looking for.
Hmm.
So it depends on what your mood is. That is sort of what you can find.
Well, if you want your own, let's say you want a place right on the beach where you got a balcony, but you don't want to spend a ton of money, but you want a view and you just want to stay in a place where you can step out on the balcony and look at the beach, what would you pay per night for something like that?
$35, $45 around there.
Okay. Right on the
Yeah.
beach.
Then you're on the beach. Then you're literally on the beach.
All right. So that's great information. And as far as getting around Phnom Penh, do they have a metro system or how do people move around the city?
I do believe there is public buses, but expats don't really use it as much. Otherwise, you can rent cars. We've got Grab, no Uber, so you can rent a car with Grab. I prefer not to use a car at all because of the traffic, right? The volume of traffic is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's obviously nice if you have a vehicle, if you want to travel for a weekend to Cambodia or something like that, then it would be great to have a vehicle. Otherwise, people travel with tuk-tuks.
Okay.
So they get in a tuk-tuk that is quick and easy. If you don't own a motor or a motorcycle or a scooter, they call it a motor. Yeah, most people drive a motor or rent
Okay.
a motor. Expats start out renting a motor. I move around on my motor as well. I find it's much faster than a tuk-tuk would be.
So you
Excuse
bought
me.
a you bought a moto.
No, I have not. I've had a motor stolen,
Okay.
unfortunately, but I am to blame because I did not lock the steering.
Uh-oh.
So crime in Cambodia literally is petty crime. So I rent at the moment. I'm renting as well. Um, I should
You're
buy.
you're
No, I
renting.
should not. Yeah, I
How
am.
much does it cost to rent per month?
Depends on what you're renting, right? People will scream at me for this one, but this I'm renting on it's about 70 to $150.
A
And then
month.
you've got a 125cc engine.
Okay.
So they're pretty strong. Yeah.
Okay, so 70 to 150 per month for a scooter that you're renting.
I know, man. You know what it is. I've I just haven't done it. I've got no excuse. There we go. I'll own that. I should have. I should just do it.
Well, it's never too late. You know, it's
I know. I've looked at a few, but I've got no excuse. I just haven't done it. Let's
yeah.
be honest about it. It's stupid for me not to buy one because I'm throwing money in the water. Honestly, it's the same thing with renting because buying an apartment, if you're planning on staying here long term,
Yeah.
buy property. Don't rent. It's silly to rent.
What can you buy a condo for there, an apartment for?
Depends again from $50,000 to $70,000 to $125,000. We were actually looking, my daughter is very clued up on that because she's sort of, that's it, the industry she's in. But $55,000 apartment, you put down a deposit of $5,000, for example. So you've got a once-off payment in the beginning. Then you pay $350, $400 a month, depending on the development. So anything from about $350 to $500 a month while you're living in the apartment. You pay that every month. So you're paying directly to the developer. And then towards the end, I think it's about a 3-year contract, you do a bulk payment again.
So the developers will actually finance the condos
Yeah,
that they're building.
correct.
Wow. So that
Correct.
do you have to go through like a pre-approval? Do you got to show that you're working? How does that
Yeah.
work?
You just show them money.
Just show them that you
They
got
don't care how you pay, when you pay, where you just put the money down, get your contracts in place, make your monthly payments. If you skip a payment, you've got a problem, make an arrangement,
so
carry on paying and pop your uncle. It's really easy
Celeste,
to buy property.
typically what they do here in the US is you do a 30-year mortgage. Over the course of 30 years, you pay. How long is the mortgage through these developers there? If you, let's say you bought a 50, $60,000 apartment.
Would you mind if I check for you quickly? I can fact check that quickly by asking my daughter.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Hold a second. Sorry
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
noise.
I'm curious now.
Right, I'm going to introduce you to my daughter quickly. Kim, sit over here.
Hi.
Hey, how
Um,
are you?
this is Ray.
It's,
Hi. How are
it's
you?
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
You guys got a cool place over there.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a lot less than you'd pay in the States. So
Yeah,
it's great.
I see that. So if you do, your mom was saying that you can finance an apartment or a condo through these
You can buy from the
developers.
developer.
So
Yeah.
if you do that and they ask you to put like a certain amount of money down, like $5,000, let's say the condo costs 60,000, then you still owe 55,000 and they make you pay, what is it, 500 a month? How long do you have to pay that 500 a month? Is it over a course of 30 years? Is it over the course of 20 years? Do you know?
Mm. Yes. So typically here, any of your apartments, so we can take a popular one here just for the example, would be your Times Square properties. They've got 10 condo buildings that are either in the process of being set up or have already been set up. On average, your, let's say, 40 to 60 square meter apartment, roughly $1,000 per square meter.
Hmm.
So let's say you're working on an average of $50,000 for a one bedroom within the Times Square property development. So usually it's a 10 to 20% down payment. That is
Okay.
something that is very flexible to the buyer, which is
Okay.
great for us. Then what happens is you'll actually be paying an installment for 45-month period.
Okay.
After that, the remaining lump sum has to be paid, or you have an option to take a loan from the developer at a very high interest rate, usually around 5 to 11.9%, 15 years.
Okay. So I'm guessing if you don't have, so after 45 months, once you pay 60 or you're paying 5,000, let's say, or you pay 10%, 6,000 on a $60,000 condo. You put 6,000 down for the next 45 months, you make a payment per month. How much is that payment per month?
Usually it's quite flexible, like the agents can work with you, but usually or typically it will be around the $400 to $600 range,
Okay.
depending on obviously at a $60,000 apartment, that's kind of where it is.
Okay.
But there's also an option to pay 10% every 6 months or 10% every year. So
Okay.
instead of paying it the monthly installments, you're doing a 10% lump sum payment each time you make that payment. So
Mhm.
they're very happy to kind of work with you in a way that's flexible for the buyer as well.
Okay. So it looks like you're probably in 45 months. If you do make a $400 payment, that's about 18,000. I'm guessing
Yeah.
that they're not going to deduct the full amount of 18,000 from that $60,000 amount. I'm sure some of that's going to be going towards interest. I'm guessing.
No, no.
No, there's
So no. So what happens is in that $60,000 property, you usually have to pay, for example, a $500 holding fee to book the apartment. So that will
okay.
be deducted. Then apartments also have a lot of discounts or baiting where they say, oh, if you buy today, we'll give you, $1,000 off or 20 or $2,000 off.
Yeah.
So if you snag one of the apartments that also have that minus $1,000, but in this
Mhm.
case, let's say they don't. So if you pay the $500 holding fee on that, then you're already looking at, my math is really terrible. Um, Minus $500 on that 60,000. Then
Right.
you pay your installment for 45 months, which is interest free.
Okay.
It's completely interest free.
Okay.
The only time you get charged interest is at the end of that 45 months. If you don't have the money to put that lump sum down for the remainder,
Yeah.
then you have the option to take a loan from the developer at a very high interest rate. And that will be a 15-year period on
I
average.
see. That's interesting. So, yeah, so 18,000 minus, 60, you're going to be right around the $40,000 mark that you would owe after 45 months. And
Mhm.
so if you don't have the $40,000 to pay up front, then they're willing to finance that.
Yes. Then
Yeah.
they're willing to, but it's not from a bank, it's directly from the
It's
developer.
directly from
And
the
a lot of
developer.
times people, before the point where they've got to do the final lump sum, they sell the property.
Yeah.
And they've got a return on their investment at least.
It depends
Yeah.
because for most investors aren't willing to pay more than 60, $70,000 for a one bedroom apartment.
True.
Yeah.
So if it's that's the going rate to try and make a profit off of that, if anything, you might make $10,000 off of it as
Yeah.
a whole, but it's not worth trying to buy and flip in that way because the property won't have the value of the property will only increase once the development is done.
Correct.
So you'll still have to make those payments for those 3 years and then hope that by the time it's done, there's somebody who still has interest and that there isn't another developer that's popping up another property at the same time.
And properties pop up here like they can build real fast. Thank you,
Yeah,
my
I'm
love.
I'm sure. Well, thank you so much. That was fantastic
Sure,
info.
no problem.
There we go, Yana. She's definitely the
I've
one
been
that's
looking.
more.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
she's been looking at properties and she's helped a couple of people with properties and things like that. She's pretty clued up on Cambodia as well.
yeah, the only thing that I always help people understand, and I'm sure it's very similar in parts of South Africa. You buy in certain areas in real estate, you can get rid of it and sell it fairly easily. When you buy
Absolutely.
overseas, you got to be very careful because you don't want to be stuck if you want to leave. You want to be able to sell it again. So you got to
Yeah,
make sure that,
absolutely.
Just another touch up. These properties' return on investment are also quite lengthy in comparison to properties based in the US.
Yeah, the return on the investment, she says, on the properties here is quite lengthy versus the return on properties you would have like in the US or in South Africa.
hmm yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are doing all the right research and that's
Oh,
that's
yeah, we love that. We're very inquisitive.
it's
And I'm
terrific.
very entrepreneurial minded, right? So you've
I can
got to
see.
sort of suss out the land to understand it.
Yep, I can see that. All right. Well, great information. The next thing, we got a couple more things to cover, but things to do. What do people do for fun? Now, I heard you guys are runners. You said you run a lot. How far do you run?
Yeah,
How far do you run, Celeste?
not far. Like the
No.
furthest I've run is 12 Ks, right? I only took it up in February, let's be
You do a
honest.
12K?
Come on, I did it by accident. And I'm like saying this out loud, recorded. This is the worst. By accident. I actually was registered to run a 5Ks in the Phnom Penh half marathon. And I was like so into it. And I was following somebody in front of me. And by the time I realized I took the wrong turn, I had to keep running because the roads were closed off. And I couldn't get a tuk-tuk to fetch me. And then, pride is a real thing. I just had to keep on running and running and running until I ended it. I almost froze up. But yeah, so running, there's a lot of that happening. Fishing, anything. There's a lot of sports, soccer.
Yeah.
They play a lot of soccer.
Okay.
A lot of what do you call this racquetball thing?
Like the
Yeah,
pickleball and
paddleball. They've got that
pickleball.
going. Badminton is very big. Yeah. The Olympic Stadium is somewhere that people go to exercise a lot.
Okay.
Um, so you've got or not free access, you've got access to use the Olympic Stadium.
hmm
Sports, there's so many things to do. Arts,
Yeah.
music,
They have
food.
temples too around Phnom Penh, right?
Plenty of temples, plenty
Yeah,
of temples.
to explore.
Something that's quite nice if you can prove with your visa that you've lived in Cambodia for longer than 2 years, you get a special pass for Angkor, so that you can go and visit the temples at Angkor Wat and Siem Reap
Yeah.
for free, which
Ooh,
is great, right?
that's
Because
really
a
good.
day pass is like $35, I think,
Yeah.
around there to get in there for a day. And I've got a couple of months left on my year pass.
hmm
Yeah, so going to visit the temples, going on food tours. I like exploring, so I just get on my moto and drive,
Yeah. Yeah.
see what there is. There's a lot of social things happening, dancing if you enjoy dancing. There's different dancing groups that you can join. Um, for the expats, there's a lot of community things that you can do. Um, there's an expat community that meets up. There's women's communities that meets up, business communities that meet up, language exchange communities, book clubs. You've got more time here than you've got in Western society. I'll give you that
Yeah.
because we don't chase as much.
Yeah. Do you find that there's more older expats moving to Cambodia or are they younger? or are there just a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both, right? There's a lot of younger people, and there's also a lot of older expats. Not as many my age group. I'm sort of like in between, which has been
Yeah.
a little bit harder for me. You know, just connecting with other people my age. Normally, when I go running, I'm like
Yeah.
the bong. You
Yeah. Yeah.
call older people bong and the younger people aren't. So I'm the bong, you know, when
Okay.
running, when they call me bong or madame. So you feel it. So I'm like in the in between. So you do have the older expats, you know, that's sort of 60 and older retirees.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a pretty even balance. A lot of new and young families,
Okay.
expats that, you know, starting families in
Hmm.
Cambodia, which is quite nice to see. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's such a great opportunity for kids because, you know, if it's, for example, if it's a South African family, the child is learning English, Afrikaans, as a, you know, growing up in Cambodia, it will be Khmer, it will be, you know, most probably Chinese and Thai and things like that. So, so many opportunities for families and
Hmm.
cheap to raise a family.
Yeah. Great information. The last thing we have, Celeste, everybody's always wondering about the healthcare system. What do you do for healthcare in Cambodia? How do you access it? Is it a public healthcare system? Do they have insurance plans? How much do you pay per month?
Look, there is different options. As a teacher, we've got access to what they call the NSSF. So it's the National Security sort of pension fund. I think the contribution is about $3 a month um, per teacher, and then the school also makes a contribution. And then you've got access to the public health care.
Okay.
If you then get sick, you can go into one of the public hospitals or the, yeah, the government hospitals. They treat you there. There might be cost, but it's so little. I've never actually, I think I've used it 3 times when I got the flu or something like that. I literally walk in, they do all my vitals, get my meds, and I leave.
Yeah.
Private clinic visits, that you're looking at about $20 to $50 a visit, depending on what's wrong.
Mm.
Then you'll have a doctor come and look at you and, you know, look at your vitals. Doctor's visits, like I say, they're about 20 to 50. Specialists is going obviously a bit higher. With a specialist, we're looking at about $40 to $80,
Okay.
depending on sort of where you're going. Heart specialist sitting at 80 and, you know, um, general specialist sitting at about 40. Then dental care is also very affordable. You can get your teeth cleaned for $30, a filling for 10, a small filling. You know, so dental care is really, really affordable. For the ladies who's wondering about, you know, facelift, things like that, it's affordable.
Hmm.
I am planning on doing it myself. I'm stupid not to do, you know, to take care of my skin while I can. So skincare here is also very affordable. It is something that happens here very naturally.
Yeah.
Women take care of themselves. It's actually quite beautiful to see the women are more ladylike, more
Hmm.
conservative. They
Yeah.
take care of themselves, which
Mhm.
is quite beautiful to see. So yeah, from that kind of sort of point of view, skincare is also very affordable for women. Clothes is affordable. Yeah, private insurance that is a bit more expensive depending on what you need, your needs are. That you're looking at about $80 to $200
Okay.
again, depending on what you need. Yeah.
Everything that you've shared, it's just so incredibly affordable in the capital of Cambodia. For somebody that's on a frugal budget, I mean, what can all in getting a rental and you pay utilities, the Wi-Fi is included, you're going to eat, go out maybe a couple with all in, how much do you think somebody would need to get by in Phnom Penh?
For a retiree, if you live comfortably in about a $350 apartment, and you can go and have a swim when you're hot, you eat healthy food, you drink as much water as you want, and you tuk-tuk to where you need to go, $600 is enough.
So all in, a retiree could go and live in the capital of Cambodia
Yeah,
and get by on 600 a month.
that is rent. No, I'm lying. Let's add there. But now I'm lying. Wait, let's not lie to people. I do not like to do that. Um, okay, so let's have a look at it.
So and
If
these are guys that are
you
gonna,
without your visa, like this will exclude your visa because that we're gonna because
yeah,
that's on a monthly.
we're only considering rent, food, groceries, utilities, all in. What are they gonna pay to get
All
around?
right, rent, food, utilities, that is your water and your electricity, as well as your transport to get around. You're looking at about $700 a month.
So somebody could literally go and hang out in Cambodia for a few months on 700 a month and live quite comfortably in Phnom
Absolutely.
Penh. Wow.
Yeah. You
That's
can. Look,
crazy.
obviously, if you start going, you want to go to the movies, you go out to dinner, it's a little bit different. But I mean,
Sure.
if you've got a pension of $1,000 a month, you know, and you take care of your money, can it be done? Absolutely. Might
Yeah.
be a little bit tight. You might not be going away for a weekend every weekend, but it can be done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great information. Well, that's everything, Celeste. Is there anything else that we didn't discuss that you can think of that could help the viewers that are considering moving to Cambodia or retiring there?
Um, I think Cambodia is a great country that's got so many opportunities. There's actually a conversation I was having with somebody that if it's developing at quite a speed, right? If you are entrepreneurial and you set things up when you get here and you allow the trend to follow, and you are the trend setter, the person who starts something new here, you can do really, really well. This country is growing at one hell of a speed. It
Yeah.
is beautiful to see, right? There's so much money coming in as in investments, despite of everything that's been going on politically in Cambodia. Travel is happening, tourism is happening. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of opportunity. If you want to come and retire and be peaceful, you can do it here. If
Hmm.
you need a break from the Western society to pull yourself towards yourself, and just calm yourself again and find yourself, Cambodia is a great place to do it. If you just want to have a quick holiday, a lot to do. Whatever it is that you need to do, you can come and do it in Cambodia cheaply and peacefully.
Yeah. All right. This has been terrific. Well, Celeste, thank you so much for taking the time to share all this wonderful
It's such a
information
pleasure.
about Cambodia and Phnom Penh. I truly appreciate it. This has been great.
No, absolutely. And if you ever find yourself here again, my door will always be open.
I appreciate it.